This is the Yeedi C12 PRO Plus robot vacuum, and I wanted to talk about it because I've been chasing something that can actually keep up with a hairy household without turning into a maintenance project. I've got pets, long hair in the house, a mix of hardwood and carpet, and not a lot of patience for babysitting a robot that's supposed to save me time. After living with this one, I've got thoughts. I'd put it in that sweet spot where performance leans high, but it skips some of the fancy fully automated stuff you see on premium docks. It's made for people who value strong pickup and less hair drama over auto-washing mops and object recognition cameras. If you want a no-bags, powerful vac that can also mop when you set it up, this checks those boxes. If you want absolute hands-off everything, you'll probably look at pricier models. Day to day, what stands out most is suction and how it handles hair. I don't obsess over the numbers. I care whether it gets the cat litter, sugar spills, grit along baseboards, and the tumbleweeds of fur that collect on carpets. It does. On hardwood, it pulls fine dust out of the seams between planks, and on rugs, it ramps up automatically and digs in. I tested it around the litter box and under the dining table after a messy dinner, and it didn't scatter debris. It actually lifted it. The main brush design with the little combs inside the housing is legit. I kept waiting for that moment where I'd have to grab scissors and cut out a hairball around the roller, and it didn't happen. After multiple runs, I popped the brush out and only found a few strands at the ends. For me, that's a huge win. The Bagless station is the other big draw. I was tired of buying proprietary bags that feel like printer ink pricing. This one uses a clear canister with cyclones, so you can literally see it spin the dust out, and you know when it's time to empty. It's satisfying to rinse everything clean in the sink instead of dealing with a smelly paper bag. There is a trade-off though. When you open the canister over the trash, a little puff of fine dust is part of the deal. Not a big thing for me because I do it outside or over a deep trash bin. But if you've used sealed bags before, just know this is different. Also, the auto empty blast is loud. It's a short burst, but I don't schedule it for late night cleanups. Mopping is where I call it semi-automatic. You do have to swap the back plate to the mopping one and fill the small tank. Once you do that, the scrubbing action is way better than just dragging a damp cloth. I had a dried coffee ring in the kitchen, and it needed a couple passes, but it lifted off without me scrubbing by hand. On sticky spots, the vibration helps. That said, it won't cross carpets with the mop on, so if your hard floor is separated by a rug, it won't go beyond that unless you pick it up and move it or rearrange your cleaning routine. And there's no auto-wash dry dock, so you rinse the pad yourself after. I'm fine with that. But it's a different lifestyle than the premium docks that wash the mop for you. Navigation is solid for mapping and room coverage. The LiDAR gives you a quick, accurate map without the robot acting confused. It did my place fast. I split rooms in the app, and it follows a predictable path that doesn't miss areas. Object avoidance is basic though. I still pick up cables and small toys before I run it because it will push light things around or nibble a cord if I forget. I had a couple moments where it took a weird route back to the dock, kind of looping around before finding home. It always got there eventually, but not always on the first try. Battery life hasn't been an issue. It finishes my space on one charge and has recharge and resume if I ever need it. The app is decent. I set zones, adjust suction and water flow, and schedule dry vacuum runs while I'm at work. It's 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi only, which I know is standard, but it's worth mentioning because I had to make sure my phone wasn't on the 5 GHz band during setup. It stayed stable after that, aside from once when the robot parked in a Wi-Fi dead spot and showed offline until I nudged the dock a few feet. Compared to what I used before, this is a big step up in the ways I care about. I came from an older Roomba that didn't map and needed constant brush cleanouts. That thing collected hair like a Velcro roller, and maintenance was half the job. This Yeedi doesn't ask for that. It's also stronger on carpet and faster at covering rooms because it actually knows where it is. Compared to high-end setups with auto mop washing and 3D cameras, those are more hands-off and better at dodging socks and cords. If you want something that can clean around kid clutter without prep, those systems are nicer. But they also lock you into buying bags and keeping a bigger dock. And they cost a lot more. With the Yeedi, I trade some convenience for lower ongoing costs and still get the cleaning power I want. Value-wise, I think it's worth it if your priorities match mine. The suction is legit, the hair handling saves me time, and the Bagless station saves me money long-term. I'm okay with swapping the mop plate and rinsing pads, and I'll pick up cables before it runs. If you want perfect obstacle smarts and a dock that takes care of the mop for you, this won't be your favorite. If you want a robust vacuum first, with mopping as a manual add-on that actually scrubs, it hits the mark. A couple quick notes from living with it. The dock canister being transparent is great because I can see immediately if a big clump made it through. I keep the station in a spot with a little breathing room so the robot lines up better on the way back. And I wash the filter parts now and then so it doesn't develop that stale vacuum smell. So, should you get it? If you've got pets, carpets, and no interest in cutting hair off a brush every week, yes. If you want to avoid buying dust bags and don't mind doing mop pad rinses yourself, also yes. If your place is cluttered and you want the robot to outsmart socks and wires, look at something pricier with object cameras and a wash-dry dock. For me, the trade-offs make sense, and it's the first robot I've kept running daily without annoyance creeping in. Drop your questions in the comments. Tell me what robot you're using now and if you found this helpful. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Thank you for watching.